¿Qué hay, mi gente? Rico.toro. Yeah. So, shout out to you. Hope you're well. Wherever you are, make it proper. Might be the best YouTube video you clicked on today. So welcome to the correct YouTube channel, if it is. So, shout out to any Rico Toro supporters that may have rolled up recently, whether it's in the gym, in the street, in the supermarket, in La Vega, and even in Gaspar, Hernandez. Shout out, much love, much respect to you. Much respect, much love to the rest of you guys for sitting here right now when you can be sitting there listening or watching anybody else in the world. So, thank you. So, I'm guessing a lot of people aren't talking a whole lot online right now about Sosua so much because we've had a lot of flight issues, cancellations. It's slow season anyways. Inflation. People are waiting for Halloween. They're waiting on retirement or death because, tomorrow's not always promised. So sometimes you got to take a gamble with what you have, and pray for the best and believe in yourself rather than waiting for that day that that golden parachute drops and the magic carpet arrives for you to come to paradise. So, yeah, I had the opportunity the week before this past weekend to go to La Vega, check it out for a few days. Just to recap, La Vega is, I'd say, a mid-sized city, just past Santiago. There's no tourists there. I did not hear anyone speaking English while I was there, and I was perfectly fine with that, even though I don't profess to be fluent in Spanish. I just kind of threw myself out of the comfort zone and in the mix and had to make it happen. A term I sort of came up with for La Vega is it's like Santiago's unsophisticated little brother, because it is near Santiago, but it's, I guess you'd say, much more like blue collar, less trendy and cosmopolitan. Like, I don't think you have like anything comparable to Colinas Mall, in La Vega. You don't have like KFC and, Pizza Hut and things like that. You do have a Burger King. I hate that. So then I was also able to check out Gaspar Hernandez Sunday, and which Gaspar Hernandez is 3 towns away from Sosua, going toward Cabarete. So you have Cabarete, Samareta, and Gaspar Hernandez. And from what I understand, and you could tell actually coming out of there, that on the main highway there around, in Gaspar Hernandez, Samareta, there's a lot of little hole-in-the-wall bars and clubs and stuff that seem to be loud and popping, and I hear there's a scene. If you want to go venture out a little bit off the beaten path. So by what I mean scene, I'll be clear. Not always not always the point and click life, but the scene is there are people out and there are women all over, and it's what you make it. Stop thinking, don't think with low self-esteem. Like you gotta follow everybody else or you'll be lost. Sometimes you just gotta go do it. Go figure it out, or at least, when you get an interesting invitation, go, which is why I went to Gaspar Hernandez. Got the invitation Friday, it's like the Patronales festival. They do it each year. It's kind of like their carnival. And, lots of music. We happen to go with a father-son team, basically, that my boy had known for like several years. A couple Dominican family. And, well, my boy from the gym, he's American. Been here a long time. But, and those guys basically, they enabled us to walk through the side gate, without getting searched by the police or our bags taken, our liquor taken, my rum, his scotch, basically. And that was that. It was just like, they're known well there. They're from there. So, had a great time. And, a comparison that I thought of, it made me think back to when I worked in New York. And I used to go to Brooklyn sometimes. And sometimes I'd be in Flatbush, sometimes Cypress Hill, sometimes East New York, sometimes Bed-Stuy, sometimes, where else did I go? A lot of places. I went to a lot of places in Brooklyn. Fulton and South Portland, downtown Brooklyn area. So, just between my ex-wife's family and co-workers, and places they'd hang. And one thing I noticed was a lot of just natural beauties in Brooklyn. And my boy said that when we were in Gaspar Hernandez, looked like there is a lot of natural beauties here. Not a ton of fake hair, some, of course, that's what they do, but not a ton of extra glam and extra glitter. Just some sort of, I guess, down-home girls that have just really pretty, nice features, good skin, and their own little kind of cool swag and style. And it made me think of how I used to feel when I would go to Brooklyn. And so, had a great time there. Continue to venture out. Shout out to me, actually, and congratulations to me and my Puerto Plata main, because she's been on the team coming up on a year now. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to do. You're looking for some of the wrong things if you can't keep at least one. If you're here a lot for a long time and you can't keep at least like one or two regular good contacts for a year, you might not be able to communicate well or talk to women well, or, you're just choosing bad. You're looking for the wrong things to play the long game. So anyways, congratulations to us, if I must say so myself. I hope she buys me some new shades soon, because she's bought 2 or 3 pair, and I think I need another pair too. So just the gesture, just the gesture when they buy us something, to show that they value us, and take some sort of investment in us. You know, even though it's not a drop in the bucket compared to what we do for them, it's a gesture. You know, old school sentiment and gesture. You know, you gotta have self-esteem. You gotta value yourself. You know, a lot of guys just so happy and giggly and goofy to be caught up with some of these girls that they meet here that they don't value themselves at all. You know, because their self-esteem has been rocked and took. You know, or they never had it to begin with. Anyways, enough of that tangent. So, thought of another thing, kind of, when we were at the festival, you know. I don't think real Dominican players floss, or they don't have to floss. And I say this, it made me think back to a couple Dominicans I worked with and my gym partner in the States, where either it's like a gift. They either got it or they don't, you know. They're just suave, you know, charismatic, charming, and, you know, just like, but carry it real humble. You know, like the son of the father-son guys we were hanging out with in Gaspar, Hernandez, is like the son just like right away. And I was fortunate enough to meet like most of their family on the way there, because my boy goes back like 20 years with you know, that family. So you know, it's like he says, like, yeah, you met his baby's mama, you know, saw his little girl and his parents. I'm pretty sure he probably got a couple other baby's mamas out there, you know, and he charmed them the same way, you know. And I mean, you know, it's not always about having beauty queens. It's about having ample options sometimes, you know, for, you know, some guys. So I could tell right away, though, like, it's like there was a lot of girls that he knew there, and, you know, a lot just warmed up to him real quick, real easy, you know. And there was no none of that like poppy chulo stuff that, you know, you go somewhere, you know, as, you know, a couple of gringos expecting like, oh, hey, want me to hook you up with somebody? You looking for somebody? You looking for somebody? There was none of that. There was none of that. You know, if there was anything questionable, you know, I can't even remember. But we checked them once, and that was it. You know, he set the boundary firm right with Dominicans once, and that's it. You know, like, you know, like, so, you know, like I said, it reminded me kind of like I used to have my gym partner in New Jersey. You know, he was married, 2 kids, and, you know, he about 33, 34, I guess, around that time. And, you know, he had a girlfriend at the same time. He was with her like 4 years. The girlfriend was smoking, like Eva Mendes, you know, a younger, like Eva Mendes of some years back. And I met the girlfriend and I met the wife, because, you know, I was invited to family gatherings with them. And so he would go to the gym after work, and he would be in like some sort of, it could be a paisley shirt and gray sweats, or a striped polo shirt and some Bruce Jenner running shorts, or just some shit that don't go together for any purpose whatsoever. Just because that's whatever was in his truck or what he had laying around the girlfriend's apartment. You know, and because he couldn't go home after the gym and change clothes, because he hardly ever went home as soon as he was finished with work. So whenever he did, his wife would try to keep him in the house. So, and his routine was kind of act like he went to the gym 2-3 hours, and go home. When in actuality, he'd be in the gym 45 minutes, and he might be at the girlfriend's an hour and 45 minutes or something like that. So, and the girlfriend lived like 2 blocks from him. And I said something to him one day. I'm like, bro, you got to be throwing some money her way. You got to be keeping her up or doing something, paying her bills, a cable bill or something. And he's like, no, she been with me 4 years. She understands me. I give it or whatever. And one day, and I repeatedly asked him that, like, over a period of like the couple years that I knew him now. And one day he says, well, actually, I do like pay the cable bill, help her out a little bit. I'm like, I'm sure you do. It's the same reason why I'm sure, like, she knows he's married. She lives two or 3 blocks from him and his wife's apartment. And so, and the wife, I'm sure, is, she knows. She's turned a blind eye. She knows, women's intuition, but the wife probably just turns a blind eye because he's probably a good provider and protector and provider, old school man, so when the man is an old school provider and protector, those being the operative words, there shouldn't be a whole lot of power struggle. But I'm not going to counsel on American relationships. But, my point is, these Dominican dudes with a lot of game, they carry themselves real humble, real smooth, just humble. Like, I'm the hard-working, blue-collar guy, grab my lunchbox, put in my time, go take care of my family, meanwhile, they got more game than the NFL, NBA, MLB, PlayStation, Sony, Sega, Genesis, you name it. I actually had a couple coworkers in New York that were very similar, and it didn't matter if the women were other Dominican women or other Latin women. They could be white, they could be black or whatever. I've seen these dudes in action, just like real cool and nonchalant, without flossing, without flashing, without trying too hard, just razzling, dazzling and shaking and baking, and shucking and jiving. Nobody says that anymore, but they just had like that knack, like I say, and without flossing, without leading with money, and I guess those are Dominicans that are glad they know English, right? Good paying jobs, and they can charm the panties off a multitude of women. So anyway, it's just a little philosophy, a little updates. Hit that thumbs up if you hadn't already. If you hadn't, you should be ashamed, but go ahead and make it right now. Hit subscribe right now, y'all. Rico.toro. Peace.